Hey, this is Coast Jar Doncaster born, but built for theme parks, and I wanted to do a video just to round up everything that's expected of the Alton Towers dungeon. Now we've got pretty much most of the details revealed about the ride. So, we do know about its prices, which we said on a previous video. It is going to be £5 online, or £7.50 on the day, with pass holders, annual pass holders, getting one free pre-booked entry into the dungeon. So, again, reasonable prices, because they usually, I think about £15 for an adult. Now the dungeon is usually a 10 plus rated attraction, so children that are pretty much going to be around the 10-11 age rating will be able to go in if they're accompanied by an adult. But it is usually a PG attraction. It's usually parental guidance just in case, but it's usually age 10 and above, pretty much. It's said to be situated near the towers, but we pretty much all know it's going to be replacing Charlie. Now, of course, that all started way back mid-2018 when we got the I was on the old channel and I did a video about these rumours that were going around. We already knew that the stargazing pods were coming to the Enchanted Village, so we pretty much knew that was coming. There was also rumours of a sea life expansion to include jellyfish and other creatures as well. So whether that deal's fallen through and we're not going to be having a sea life expansion maybe until next year, I'm not too sure. But we also got the rumour that Charlie was being rethemed or replaced. Now, it was more along the lines of rethemed, and I personally wanted it rethemed because I love Charlie, I loved Toyland Tours. I didn't get a chance to ride around the world in 80 days, but I did ride the main two themes in the building. The Around the World in 80 days is sort of the original starting theme before it got into the main stuff, which is the Toyland and your Charlie. So again, I loved those two themes. Of course, the licensing with the Royal Dahl Federation went through and they couldn't renew the contract, so Charlie had to close, as well as being part of the Tales of Loving Care programme, but it was mainly due to the licensing sort of going, the contract for the licensing not being renewed and it being terminated, so I can see why they've done it. So the attractions sat there since 2015, doing nothing, and then Million Magic Making was spotted on site. People started speculating. Now, the main speculation, there was two main rumours going around. A dungeon, that was what people were rumouring, or the David Walliams World area to replace Cuckoo Land. And they were going to put the stories. Either it was going to be a retheme of the whole area, or they were going to be putting the Williams World stories as a boat ride attraction in there. Kind of like what Chessington did with Gruffalo when they sort of took out Bubbleworks and put in the Gruffalo story. This could have been Charlie being taken out and then being replaced by a new IP, with all David Williams' children's books coming alive. In a sort of like a fairy tale, kind of like Fairy Tale Brook at Legoland Windsor, or any of those slow-moving boat rides, you know, that goes around a story, like a story come to life. It was going to be something like that, or it would have been a full Williams World retheme of Cloud Cuckoo Land, and a retheme of Cloud Cuckoo Land was definitely needed by this point. But the announcement came. It was around August that the announcement came out, and August, September time. The announcement came out, and there we go, it was announced, the Alton Towers dungeon. We sort of knew it was going to be a dungeons a couple of weeks before the announcement was revealed to be the dungeons for the confirmation, because we sort of had some idea that the Williams World deal with David Williams' books IP fell through and negotiations broke down, so we sort of knew it was going to be a dungeons after that for a few weeks, because with that deal falling through and no other heavy rumours being in the rumour mill at the minute, we sort of ensured it was going to be a dungeon. So this wasn't the most surprising announcement of Alton Towers. Honestly, if you want my opinion, the most surprising announcement in Alton Towers was probably how big the Smiler was. I'm not saying it was a good ride in the end, over the years. It was good at the start, but then it's just like most Gerstlauers apart from Saw the Ride, it just didn't age well, and I don't know how it will ride next season. Don't know if they've made any modifications to it. Probably not. But again, we'll check that out in the summer when I make my way down to Alton Towers, and of course I'll film a vlog here on Curtis Chan. So yeah, going back to the fact that the David Williams deal broke down, we knew it was going to be a Dungeons. The Dungeons was announced, and again, it wasn't the most surprising announcement because many people expected it after the other heavy rumour about the Williams world, the negotiations for that broke down. Whether that's confirmed or not, whether there was a contract in the first place, it was really heavily rumoured, and there was the rumour that the negotiations broke down over an IP licensing contract. So again, the Dungeons was the heaviest. It was the heaviest rumour after that, along with the Williams world at the start. There was no other rumours going around heavily in the rumour mill at the time, so we kind of knew it was going to be a Dungeons. And I was a bit sceptical at first because, you know, I would have preferred a re-theme of Charlie. I would have preferred I would love to see. I would have preferred to see what Alton Towers did with what Chessington did with Bubbleworks when they brought in the Gruffle out. They sort of changed some of the 2D bits around and sort of added projections, like different lighting, different 3D animatronics, and different 3D scene pieces. You know, they gave it a massive upgrade. I mean, obviously I prefer Bubbleworks, even though I haven't done the ride, but I sort of prefer Bubbleworks because of the history and the heritage. And I think the ride had to go in a way that it didn't look very well. I mean, some of the scenes on the closing day of Bubbleworks, the blow off, if you know the ride. If you watch a POV of Bubbleworks, you'll know when it says blow off. I think that scene, two of the ducks weren't spinning. The blow off scene was sort of not working. Another scene towards the start of the ride was left untouched. The bath time sign was removed, so it was sort of getting to the end of its lifetime, even on closing day. You know, and the fireworks finale after the famous fountain scene, you know, that looked like it had been not vandalised, but like the guy with the fireworks scene was sort of at a sideward angle, not like straight up like it usually is. So again, that's another example of scenery not being touched or looked after properly. So that didn't go very well. So as much as I'd like to keep the Bubbleworks theme, I kind of like what they did with Gruffalo when they sort of replaced some of the unworking scenery with projections, new effects, new lighting, new animatronics, new theming pieces, new scenery pieces. They kept the fountains, which is brilliant. So I would have loved to see something like that with Charlie, but under a different theme. Just add some new effects and projections and bring in a new theme. So I was a bit sceptical when the Dungeons was announced at first, but then when I sort of got into the project and more details started coming out with the 5 shows, the prices, etc., etc., I sort of got a bit more excited. And after doing the York Dungeon, the New York Dungeon in January, just a couple of weeks ago, in fact, I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. I did it last week as of recording this, and I loved the changes in there from last time. And of course, when it was leaked, shall we say, not confirmed but leaked, that it was going to be 5 shows and a boat ride, it kind of assumed that the boat ride system was going to stay, and I can only assume that the whole queue line building with the massive Wonka pre-show massive screen at the start, and you know the sort of loading platform for the boat ride. I would assume that the queue line building with the massive pre-show, that I'm assuming that's going to turn into 3 or 4 different rooms, or 3 rooms, shall I say? I'm going to say 3 rooms because you've got to remember we've got the famous, if you guys remember Charlie, the Mike TV room as we call it, when he's sort of shrunken down from the TV machine. And it's sort of Wonka saying, please go through to the Great Glass Elevator. So I'm assuming the queue line building at the start, with the massive pre-show screen with Wonka on it, that's going to turn into 3 separate rooms. Then the boat ride, then the fourth room, which will be the old my TV room, heading into the elevator system. Now this is the big question that everyone's been talking about. Is the elevator system going to stay? Obviously, it would be cool to do that sort of theme it around a story. It would kind of make sense, to be fair, because York Dungeon has its carriage simulator, if you will, which is the new updated Dick Turpin Highwayman scene. I'm sure London Dungeon and Warwick Castle Dungeon have got different things as well. Berlin, Blackpool, I'm sure they've got different ending scenes. So it wouldn't surprise me if Alton Towers sort of took inspiration from the simulator style ending with Dick Turpin at the York Dungeon to say, hang on, we can keep the elevator and just theme it to one of our stories that we plan for our dungeons, and have that simulator style ride at the end of it, and then have that person have that act saying, have a lovely dungeons day, and lead you off into another topic which I'd like to discuss about the dungeons, and that is the Burger Kitchen going to become a tavern? Now, pretty much every dungeon has a tavern, like a gift shop, the tavern as we call it. Now I do feel as if it will have a tavern. However, I'm not sure if the tavern is going to be on one side or it's going to be on the Burger Kitchen side. And I think it's going to be on the Burger Kitchen side because even though the ride exits, to be fair, the ride exits, I think it's hard to remember where Charlie exits because it's been a while since I've been on it. It's been a few years now. But the ride exit, I believe, if I remember off the top of my head, is towards the side of the Burger Kitchen. So if they move that exit and they extend that corridor into the Burger Kitchen and sort of join the Burger Kitchen on with the dungeons, then it would sort of assume, we can sort of assume, that the Burger Kitchen is going to be renamed into the Dungeons Tavern. So it's going to have the Tavern Restaurant and the Tavern Gift Shop. So again, this leads me on to think that Burger Kitchen is going to get renovated, but again, it's January. It's end of January, coming up to the start of February in about a week time as of recording this. But the Burger Kitchen hasn't been touched as far as I know. The Burger Kitchen has not been touched, rethemed, repainted, anything like that. The sign's not been taken down for it. If we were to see something happen to the Burger Kitchen, then I'd assume that we would sort of see something by now, like a sign being taken down. Or to be fair, we would have seen the wall that covered Charlie cover the Burger Kitchen as well. But I guess they wanted to keep it open until the end of the season. But again, we would have seen something by now. So I don't think they'll be changing the style of the Burger Kitchen. However, I think you may still exit through the Burger Kitchen, and they'll be building like a brand new extension to the Burger Kitchen with the dungeon shop, which will be probably called the Tavern, like any other dungeon. Now, of course, you saw the posters with the 5 characters around the park. I believe that is what the shows will be based on, just from my perspective and my prediction. It could be based on Towers history or Staffordshire history. They could stick to the local area and do Alton history or just Staffordshire history in general. There's so many questions still to answer. Now, it isn't just the dungeons that's coming 2019. Now, I'm also mentioned towards the start of the video about the stargazing pods, which is some brand new huts that are going in the Enchanted Village Hotel Resort as part of the hotel side of things. Did they really need it? Yeah, I guess. I mean, the long-term plan when the Enchanted Village first opened back in 2014, the long-term plan was to have there was like a massive field that, like, full of car parks, and I think they were planning to build new huts on there. And of course, behind the Enchanted Village, near the Alton Towers Hotel, was of course the construction of the CBeebies Line Hotel, which opened in 2017. So, again, it was in the works. I think it was still in the works, and then they sort of finally got it off the ground. So it'd be nice for the hotel side of things to get more people staying, and of course, more people staying means more profit. And more profit means a better season. Now, along with the Alton Towers Dungeon and the Stargazing Pods, many Alton Towers have confirmed that they're going to be unearthing new announcements soon. So it doesn't look like it's just going to be the Alton Towers Dungeons and the stargazing pods. Oh no, wait, it's Project Hip Hop at CBeebies Land, which is 2 junior drop towers, which in my opinion means it's going to be the end of the Froghoppers' reign at Alton Towers. I'm pretty sure it's going to be taken down before the start of the season. If not, it will have 3 family drop towers in the park. How? Now, these ones apparently are going to be relocated from, I believe, the Sea Life Centre in Germany. So, they were painted green, so I don't think... maybe it will get a repaint. There's been a lot of rumours about what IP will come in to, you know, cover the ride. Loads of rumours suggesting Peter Rabbit. I would love to see Peter Rabbit theme this ride. It's a newer show, I think, on CBeebies. I don't watch CBeebies, don't lie. I don't watch it, but I've heard a lot of stuff that Peter Rabbit is a more recent show on CBeebies. I think it's been around for 1 or 2 years, I think. So I won't be surprised if they retheme it to Peter Rabbit. Because if any of you remember the 90s at Alton Towers, they had Peter Rabbit on ice in the old Storybook Land in the Big Top, which of course was removed for an open air theatre space called Big Fun Showtime in the new CBeebies Land when that opened in 2014. So you know, it's called Project Hip Hop now, and I think hip hop gives away a clue that it's going to be themed to a rabbit, and of course, which rabbit's on CBeebies? Peter Rabbit. So I think it's going to be my prediction is it's going to pretty much be a Peter Rabbit themed ride, and of course, once we get the name and the theme of the drop tower, the family drop towers, even though it is just family drop towers, we will give it to you here on Coast Charlie YouTube channel. Now, as well as all that, the family drop towers in CBeebies Land, the stargazing pods and the Alton Towers dungeon, they're set to be unearthing new announcements, so we need to be staying tuned to those social media sites because we never know what's going to pop up. Peter Rabbit. Now, many people have been saying Nemesis Subterra could return. They've been rumoring a return for Nemesis Subterra, but Alton Towers Resort officially confirmed that Subterra will not be returning to Alton Towers. There was a tweet made, I think, today or yesterday that confirms that it won't be returning for 2019. Now, whether they're just saying this to get us off the trail, I don't know. But, you know, when they say they've got some more announcements, I think they're talking about maybe one more minor thing for 2019, but I think they're mainly going to be talking about the 40th anniversary in 2020. I think that's going to be what they're talking about when they say we've got more exciting stuff to unearth, should we say, as well as announce. So I think it's just going to be one more minor thing 2019, but I think there's going to be new announcements for the 40th anniversary next year. So I think it's going to be mainly towards next year. I don't think we're expecting anything more than that, what we know already. So I'm just going to... It could be more. You never know. It could be more. But I'm just going to take this as if that's it. There's only like one minor thing, like, I don't know, a new patch of grass. I don't know. But I'm just going to take what it is now. So what do I think of these investments then? New addition to the accommodation. A dungeon, replacing a good family dart ride. And family drop towers in CBeebies Land when they already have a drop tower. And of course, they've been speculating, and they've pretty much confirmed for a while from the 2018 season that Toadstool's set to be coming back to the resort this year. So hopefully that gets set up over February. So that's what I'm looking forward to as well. Overall, to say this is an off season and they're sort of coming off, you know, Wicker Man last season, I can sort of get that. I mean, I'll be doing another Alton Towers video in a few months, sort of my views on what I think they should add and change to Scarefest for this year. I really want to do a vlog from Scarefest this year. Fingers crossed, I really want to do a vlog from Alton Towers Scarefest, but of course, that's October. So what do I think of these investments that we know already? Personally, I think they're decent sized investments to say that we're taking an off year. I know many people have been quite negative about it, like, oh, is this all we're adding? You've got to remember we had a decent sized family thrill GCI called Wicker Man in the Flume Spot last year. You've got to remember that. And to be fair, I think we're not expecting to see a coaster in the next 2 or 3 years at Alton Towers at least. So, you know, you've got to take it for what it is. So overall, dungeons, I love them, so I hope this one's going to be good quality. The drop towers, I hope they're going to be good family fun. It'd be great to see Toadstool back, and of course it's great to see the accommodation side being expanded even more. Even though it was only 2 years since they added the CBeebies Island Hotel, which is a bit strange. So there we go. So that's pretty much all what Alton Towers are opening in 2019. Of course, if there's any more details and any new attractions, I'll bring it to you here on Coach Charlie YouTube channel. And of course, I'll be bringing out another video whenever it's announced about Alton Towers confirming the name and the theme for Project Hip Hop in CBeebies Land in 2019. I'm going to predict and say they're going to be announcing it around start or mid-February, I think. I'm not too sure, but I think it's going to be around then. So thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you go to Alton Towers Resort on Saturday the 23rd of March for the opening day of the Alton Towers Dungeon. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss a video. And for now, my name is Coach Charlie, not because I'm born, but built for theme parks. Keep living the coast up, dudes, and I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Take care, have an awesome day.